Okay, we can talk.
We can talk.
We can talk.
Hello.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome, Shannon. And
Yeah,
so glad to see you, Alex.
yes. Today we have our special guest, our doggy mom, Alex. Hey.
Hi.
Thank you so much for joining us at the show and bringing your life event and experience in front of the camera. I think we would be enjoying to learn a little more about this dynamic that unfolds itself in your home with your one dog that you have, and then the other one that just enter the family.
Yeah. So, just as you said, I'm just real brief. Originally, Alex was going to come on the episode to talk about Happy. Happy is the dog you've had for how long?
2 years.
For 2 years. And how did Happy become a part of the family?
We rescued him from the streets in Mexico. So we brought him from Puerto Vallarta to Iowa.
Aha.
Oh,
Okay. Puerto Vallarta to Iowa. That's a big jump. Good job, Happy. Um, so originally she wanted to talk about some of the behavior he was conveying around other dogs when she took him to the baseball games or something, the kind of behavior he had that. But cut to the following week, they decided to adopt a new puppy. And so now there is questions about integrating the puppy into the family and how to do that and the best way to do that so there's harmony among everybody.
hmm
So I
so
don't
did,
know if you want to start talking about with Happy or if we want to talk first about the puppy integration. But that's a little background of how
is
Alex came to be here.
the very important to understand first is that when the new puppy, especially when the puppy joins the pack, what they have a tendency to learn is from the one that is in charge. No matter how hard we try, the dog gonna always follow the lead of one that is in charge. So because of that, it's always important to understand that communication in between dogs, in between Happy and what's the name of the little puppy?
Charlie.
Charlie, for example, because there is no possibility for two of them to miscommunicate their relationship, right? And obviously, oftentimes, the best thing is to do is to focus on the older dog, to do the rituals with the older dog, and the older dog gonna teach the younger one. That's how it goes. Because if we give all the usually what happens if we give all attention to a new dog, we want to fix and train and do whatever we want to do with the new dog, and then we actually forgot that the dogs are connected much more than we think, and we still try to learn how to become a leader or leaders of the dogs, right? And now if the little puppy misbehaves and gets all of our attention, that might cause the old dog to start even misbehaving most because that's the way to grab the attention of the owner. So it's kind of always the one that I want to fix. For example, Happy's attention was on you until the little puppy didn't came. And what was, as I understood, was happening is that Happy was trying to fix you, right, Alex? And now the little puppy comes in a picture, and obviously, I don't know is that a case, but we focus our obedience training to a puppy, potty training, do this, do that, you can do this, you can do that. And then we somehow shift the focus from the dog that needs our attention because we need to be a leader of the group. And the leader leads, the rest of the group follows. And the most important thing is to have one dog under complete to inspire one dog, and then he'll take care about the rest.
Great. Thank you.
So
That's very helpful and definitely Happy. He's really obedient and he listens to me very well. He's the only one that follows all the instructions when I give instructions. So
do you
I'll
have
keep.
do you have any problems with the Happy's behavior or something that you would like to change or that's something that bothers you?
There is only one thing. He's really intelligent. He comes when I call. When I got him, let me just back up a
Okay.
little bit. When I got him, he wanted to run away. That's all he wanted to do. He wanted to run away. He didn't. We lost him like 3 or 4 times, and he didn't want to stay. We have a fence yard. He would find a way to get out of the fence. But with time, he started bonding more to me and trusting me. And now he completely trusts me. We walk on the street and we walk without a leash. And he listens when to my commands. I say, come, he will come. The only issue I have with him is when we meet other dogs. He becomes completely aggressive. And you think that he's going to bite them or he's going to do something. But that's not the case. When they come close, he's fine. But when they are far away, he starts barking and twisting into his collar. He turns into a demon. Really.
And if he does, he do that if he's walking by your side without a leash?
No, he doesn't do that. He's very interested in checking the dog out, but he doesn't do that.
Yeah, because the leash creates some strange connection in between human and dogs. And oftentimes the dogs behave completely different on a leash and completely different when they are without a leash. And somehow, because what's significant, why would he still want to protect you from the dogs? Is because he thinks that no matter for what reason, your little group, so your little family, let's call it like that, you and his family, is might be in danger when other dogs are around. And obviously you laid out that he was a little Mexico stray dog, right? And now he lives in next to you and in your home and in your family, and that's what something he was missing. He was missing he didn't know that he went so far from Mexico to Iowa, right? In his little mind, he's just in another place, in another environment, but maybe he will be able to find his way home, and that is why he was going away until he didn't actually realize that he won't find his old friends and old streets, and everything is different, and now this is a new life. And that is how the dogs very quickly adapt to the new circumstances. What we need to keep doing is actually ensuring them that there is nothing of theirs to fear, and then when you are walking, two of you walking outside the street, that he taking care about you, and by protecting you from the other dogs is not his job. And that is what he's seeing as of danger, because probably holding back patterns of memory, he needed to protect the territory from the other dogs and from the others that were like attacking, because that's what happens when the dogs are living in this street environment. They are protecting their territory. And as we spoke to so much oftentimes, stray dogs don't go to the walk so much as we think we need to take them to a walk, because they were like fencing their little territory and protecting that territory from the others that attack the territory. So taking dogs in the long walk, especially until they do not understand that communication in between us is perfect, and they do understand that we are the one that leads, protect, and provide, then they're going to relax and stop looking at the other dogs as a threat. Because it's me, it's the owner who decides. And then if we need to do something, we need to do something.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you then. So again, I love this because I feel like it gives so much insight into what's going on in Happy, right? Yes. Yeah. So what can Alex do to establish with Happy that he doesn't need to protect the territory so much?
Okay, so first that starts with a protected territory at home. So you need to start communicating with him pure language of the respect and love when the dogs are in place. So that starts with the feeding ritual, the play ritual, and the coming and like a separation and separating and reuniting ritual. So those three rituals, if practiced constantly and enforced for 2 weeks, he's gonna stop barking on the other dogs, because you're gonna take over the leadership role, and he's gonna be completely content that if he needs to protect and if he needs to join the forces of protection, he will be invited, and you're gonna call him if you need him. Otherwise, it's under his watch. But now we need to establish this routine of what does it mean communicating the right family system structure with the language, with the canine language. And that's nothing to do with you fixing the problem when he's barking on the dogs. That's already a symptom of he taking a role of the leader that assumes that he needs to protect the family from the other dogs, right? And what he finds very interestingly, he finds the dogs to be something that's very dangerous for the community, and that's not far away from what he brings as a memory.
That's what I was going to say. That makes sense.
He's coming from, yes.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like not people he's afraid of or it's dogs, because that's what he probably had to watch out for on the street.
Yes, and he protected his family from the other dogs, and that what was, it's still memory, and he just does the same to you, because especially when you bonded, as you said, because you said like he was going out, what he was looking for is his old place. He was looking for his Mexico. He couldn't find the Mexico. He couldn't find his street. And probably if you would be able to have a drone or the cameras or something like that, you would see that every time he goes out from the fence, he would go less away. So it would be, for example, 7 blocks the first day, and then you will find him, bring him back home, and then 5 blocks next day, and then 3 blocks next day, and then suddenly realizing that there is no reason for that because it's not the Mexico anymore, it's not his street anymore, it's not his life anymore, it's completely different lifestyle, and they are slowly, actually very fast, adapting to the new circumstances and take them as granted. That's it. Because you provide the food now, you are, we don't know which kind of lifestyle he had there. Who provided the food? Did he needed to go scavenge around, or they had someone that, bring the food outside on the street? So that's kind of stories maybe that we don't know.
So the rituals, I mean, they have rituals in place, but you talk about specific rituals for how you set up leadership to make sure that the dogs know we are the ones providing, protecting, and leading.
Yes.
So could we start with that maybe to talk to Alex about the feeding? Is it the feeding ritual first?
Yeah, because that's the union. How do you feed your dogs? Tell to me like how when you decide to the day starts, and then how do you and when do you feed them, and how that process looks like?
Okay, so things have changed with the new puppy. But in the past, without the puppy, we get up at 7 in the morning. He doesn't want to go out until 11, and he doesn't want to eat until noon. So he has lunch and then dinner.
Okay, how do you know that he doesn't want to eat?
Because I have offered him early in the morning food in the past. At the beginning, I offer early in the morning food, and he just left it there. So I don't want food sitting for a long period of time. So I stopped feeding in the morning, and I started feeding at lunch, and then he eats the food.
Okay, and then what do you feed him with? Like a kibbles, or you cook for them, or raw?
No, I do kibbles with sometimes chicken and yogurt, a mix of different things. He likes that.
Okay, and fruits. Then and then when you said you don't want to leave the food on the floor, right? Do you have when you pick up the food and when you pick up the bowl, like what's happened with the bowl? You wash the bowl, and then where is the bowl until the next food? Do you put it back on the floor, or it's somewhere up in a kitchen?
I put it back on the floor, or it sits in the countertop. It depends if it has food or it doesn't have food.
Okay, so if it has the food, then it stays down?
If it has food, in the past, I used to leave it down.
Okay.
With the new dog, we can't. Things have changed completely.
Yeah, because the new dogs is teaching you right way to do it. So it's kind of like, because that's how it should be done. So there you go. That's usually one place where we are losing our position is when we think that the dog choose, because if you say he chooses not to eat when I offer him a food, so he has intention, he has in his mind understanding that he can decide when to eat because he leads. right? That's a decision of the leader. If you would see and observe the wolf behavior, the mom wolf goes far away to hunt, and then let's say 10, 20 miles away, she brings down a deer, then she eats whatever she can, and then she, leaves the rest for the scavengers and the bears and whoever eats after they are done, and now she needs to come home. So all of that food is within her stomach, half digested. She comes home. The puppies, say hi, but licks around the, mouth to make her vomit that out. She vomits, moves aside, the puppies eats, and that's it. So when it doesn't happen that the mom comes from the hunt, vomits out, and then the puppy doesn't eat because someone else is going to come and eat. Some other puppy or some other lower ranker dog or even the mom would come because the food is not to be wasted in the nature. So we do play a role of the wolf mom, and the dogs, no matter for how old, they remain a wolf puppies. So that's the dog can have like 15 years in his mind, and that is what made them dog. He was frozen in a time of wolfhood, of wolf puppyhood, right? And they always interact with the humans like their mothers, or that is why we can call them babies, because that's real interaction. What happens in between dogs and the humans is wolf puppy to a wolf mother.
Oh, okay.
So what we did, how the real ritual looks like is that whenever I decide to put the food down, that depend on my time, on my schedule, that depend on, do I need to hunt 1 mile, 20 miles, or 3 miles? And then how long is going to take me to go and come back? So I can come back at 10 in the morning, in 2 in the afternoon. Maybe I won't come today. So it's not on a dog. Soon we release him from thinking when and what is going to be eaten. And when presented the food, he has 2 choices, to eat it or to wait for the next meal. That's it. So how the real ritual of the feeding looks like, it's that we kind of, mimic this natural flow of feeding ritual. So what we do is first I want you to, get ready, because we now need to increase the theater around the feeding ritual. So everything is more exaggerated. Okay, so we don't get the chance to miscommunicate our intention in any level. So the pictures we send will be very clear, non-verbal, and only actionable. So what I want you to do is first prepare a piece of the grape, chocolate, or whatever, some bite, and have it handy on the countertop. Okay. Take a bowl of the food and prepare whatever you used to give to the food. While you are doing that, chew your little grape or whatever you have handy. So 1 bite of something. What actually is happening there, signals that you are sending to your dog would be that saliva is starting to be released the soon we start chewing whatever we chew. Right? So digestion process start in the mouth. That releases saliva. Saliva already have a lot of hormones, digestive hormones, that radiates. The smell of those hormones radiates, and dogs can smell much better than we can do, right? So in his little mind, digestion started, mom eats first, then you take a bowl, you put it down, and that's again movement of you eating your food. And as we put the bowl down, we kind of mimic a motion of vomiting. So you vomit it down. Okay, it's ugly to understand, but I think like we need to use a real word, kind of like, because that's a theater. Now now we are playing this comedy or tragedy or whatever, and you want to exaggerate everything because that's how they're gonna get a clear message. So you're putting the bowl down, you move away, you don't say a word, so you just put the bowl down, you move away, and then you just stay in the same room. Don't look at your dog, but have it in a viewpoint, how you say, like, see it. The moment the dogs move away from the food, you go there, pick up the bowl, and wait for the next meal to come. That's all. If he eats the entire food and everything is down and he moves away from the bowl, you go there, pick up the bowl, and that's it. So you have a beginning with your little chewing, you have a middle by vomiting it out, and then the everything you are sending is a clear message of you are the mom and they are the puppies. So that's the first ritual.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
So with the puppy, things were easier with Happy before, but with the puppy, now I put the food down and one wants to eat the other one's food. The puppy wants to eat Happy's food and Charlie wants to eat Happy's food. And I'm in the middle trying to, okay, no, that's not your food. That's not your food.
Yeah, I get that. So what we do then is actually you can separate them in 2 rooms. You can make, for example, you can have a fence in between the kitchen and living room, and one of the dogs will be, because the feeding ritual lasts 5 minutes. They have whatever time they have until the bowl is down, and the first step away from the bowl, it's gone. You are the one that goes, take the food, and they need to think, and then they're gonna think, oh my God, what happened there? What we are encouraging dogs here is to think and take a responsibility for their actions, not to take a blame or not to be punished if they do, so they don't do not to be punished. No, we are teaching dogs to think and to make a responsible actions with understanding the circumstances. If I do this then, and if I do this then, and then what's clearly here communication, what we communicate is a hierarchy. Without any use of force, without anything saying, it's a pure theater and pure body language that cannot be misinterpreted.
So then is there a certain amount of time then you said that after the bowl goes down that you give 5 minutes and then?
No, it's kind of like I said, maximum, they might be around the 5 minutes, but what I want you to look for is the moment they move away from the bowl.
Okay.
Is that clear? So and then you go there, you pick up the bowl, no words, no nothing, and you wait for the next meal. If happens to be in the afternoon, it's okay. If happens to be tomorrow, it's okay. You always have in your mind 3-3-3. The dogs and the humans and every creature on this planet can survive 3 minutes without max, 3 minutes without air, 3 days without water, and 3 weeks without food. So don't worry about them being hungry.
Okay. Thank you. That helps a lot because I think that it totally makes sense. It totally makes sense that if they move away from the dish, I just need to pick it up.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, of course, because
Perfect.
that's kind
Thank
of
you.
oftentimes we just, it's just a feeding time. So let's give them the food and let them play with it. But that's a power game because that's actually, the food is a source, the point of unity in between the humans and the dogs. We made a pact, or how you say, we made a contract around the food. The food is the main, topic of the contract in between humans and the dogs. And that's something that we really need to be careful about because very easily the messages can be slip through our actions and being not present, not aware, or not knowing, whichever. The reason why we are not doing it won't change the outcome of not doing it right? So this would be, you feed them in the different rooms. That would be the best way.
Okay.
Because the feeding ritual is not something that lasts and you don't need to stress around. Don't eat this, don't eat that. Have them separate in 2 rooms or in one room, separate the room with the fence or the little baby fence or whatever. So you have them both under the control. You don't interact with them while they are eating. They have all the privacy to choose what they want to do. And the moment they step away from the food is yours. Because what you did when you bow down and you kind of you vomited the food and then you moved away, what actually we are sending the message: food is abandoned. Abandoned food is available for you to do whatever you want to do with the food. You can eat it or you can abandon it as well. But the moment you abandon it, it's available to someone else.
Exactly. Yes, thank you. It helps a lot. And I have another question. Do you think that it would be okay to feed them at different times? Like, could I feed them, one first and the other one later?
Yeah, you can do that too. You can kind of like feed them in the hierarchy. So feed the happy first and the baby second, and do whatever because that's the question for you to answer, because we eat when the leader decides what we eat, what leader provides, and we eat as long as leader allows. And that's all that matters. The best way for them would be, because sometimes if you choose to feed them different times, again, it's an experiment, and you see what works best for your family. I think because sometimes can happen that if you feed one and then wait for him to move away, then feed the other one, it can be a possibility, but also can cause a lot of drama and interaction in between them, that they're gonna go later on and fix by themselves which one is getting your more attention. What I think you should do, and try doing it, is that you have both food prepared, you chew your gum, whatever you chew, okay, and then you put down the food for Happy first and then for the Charlie second, because that will be a direction for them to eat. And if Charlie chooses to follow you while you are putting down the Happy's food, Charlie's bowl is abandoned.
Okay. So after if Charlie leaves to go get Happy's food, Charlie loses his food.
Yes.
And then Charlie will think about it.
Why did
next
this happen?
time? Why did this happen?
And that's because
how
of that,
he eventually can learn.
So actually, I'm sorry, I think the Happy is the oldest dog, right? The Happy is older.
Happy.
Yeah, Happy. Put the bowl of the Happy first, and then the bowl of the Charlie second.
Great, thanks.
Okay, and that can be done. The entire this maybe one day they're gonna be confused because they are not stupid. They exactly know what you are doing. Once you start doing it, they're gonna exactly know why you are doing it, and they're gonna question like why she's doing it today and didn't do it all this time. And then they might resist the first 2 days, but then for sure they're gonna get answer. And I would love you to let me know how the food ritual is going like in 2 days. It's gonna be like miracle to see them change.
It's gonna be fun to watch.
It's going to be fun to watch. Yes.
Yes,
definitely.
please. Okay, the next thing is everything happens on your watch. Everything.
This is a good one. This is a good one. I think every doggy mom listening to this needs to listen, like tune in and pay attention.
When you have in line with the food and you are doing it right, they're gonna immediately start to see, are you just joking? Is this by accident? Or we have wake up in the morning in which we have a leader to follow. And then they might become a little pushy for a couple of days. And what the pushy can mean? The pushy can mean attention grabbing, whatever can mean attention grabbing, bringing you balls to play with them, jumping on the sofa when not invited, trying to jump on you and do anything that they can so you give them attention. That's a trap, right? So when the dog comes to jump on you, when you say, oh, he wants to jump, just ignore that behavior.
Ignore.
So what does it mean when you say he wants to jump on you and he said, he wants me to, to take him. And then you take him and then he remains there for 2 minutes and then he goes, right? Or 3 minutes or 5 minutes.
That's Happy.
Then he goes. And then why is that happening? Because actually he comes to challenge you. And if you fail the test, then he got disappointed. Then he goes and he says, okay, it's mine to worry. Okay, it's mine to worry.
Wow.
So what we actually do is when he jumps on whatever jumps and you didn't invite him, just if that's a sofa, let's say he jumps on a sofa. What you do is just calmly, without any words, put him down. He jumps again, you put him down. He jumps again, you put him down. And then you put him down and you put a chair on the sofa so he can jump on a chair. Right?
So if it's okay for him to be on the sofa, if she calls him on the sofa.
Yes. Okay. That's what I wanted to say. It's very important that you wait for the time that you get at least 5 minutes of his time for himself. Okay, so he tries 10 times to jump on the sofa, 10 times you without words, without panic, without anger. That's important. We need to control our emotions. So you need to understand that you are doing right thing. And if he tries 15 times, you need to be persistent 16. And then he won't try it anymore. That's a
I do have a question. So he tends, what he's been doing lately since we have Charlie, he's been jumping on people. Like, for example, Shannon is here. So what he does is he runs and he jumps on top of her legs without being invited.
Today he just like jumped right into my lap on like
yes, that's again because his pack up until now was you and him and maybe your son, right? And I don't know who you live.
Xander.
Yeah, there you go. So 3 of you were the pack. And then suddenly the pack expanded to 1 more dog and 1 more human, right?
Here comes Xander. This is Xander. He's going to say hi.
Hi. Thank you for being with us too, and tune into this because you and Mom and Shannon need to put all of this in place because that's very important. Yeah. So thank you so much.
So the original pack was Alex, Xander, and Happy.
Yes.
And then they just got Charlie last Friday.
There you go. And then you stay with them too, or you are just visiting?
Yeah, I'm here for a month.
There you go. So you are a member of the pack too. And what he doesn't know now is actually for how long you're gonna stay. There you go. Hi, Happy. And where is the Charlie? I didn't see the Charlie.
Charlie, come.
There you go. That's a good way to show Charlie. Charlie, come. Now, if Charlie wanna come, he comes. Good boy.
Come, Charlie.
Is he here?
He is somewhere. Charlie, come.
Is he ignoring you?
Charlie, come. Charlie, come.
Oh, he's chewing on something.
Oh, he's chewing.
Okay, that's.
Oh, here he comes. I hear him.
Come, Charlie. Come,
Good boy. Reward him when he comes.
Well, Happy. Okay.
There you go.
This is
oh my
Charlie.
God, it's a golden doodle poodle or what?
It's golden doodle.
Oh my God. How old is he?
3 months.
3 months. Oh, he will be a big dog. He'll be.
They think 40 to 50 pounds. They're guessing at the shelter at Noah's Ark.
Oh my God. That's so sweet. Who abandoned him so cute? Do you know the story?
The breeder, he was surrendered by the breeder because he couldn't sell him.
Oh,
yeah.
That's kind of like a sad story.
And it was him and his brother both were together at the shelter, and they both got adopted.
Okay, great. Congrats. Yeah. That's great. That's great. Congratulations. And now you can as well like enjoy him as much as you want, and then put him down before he wanna go. That's very important as well. Put him down before he chooses to go on his own. That's important as well, because there you can lose a little challenge by, deciding when the dog comes and when the dog goes away from your lap, for example.
So okay, I get it. The food, you make the decision, and then that's how they continue to know that they're the leader.
Yes.
Okay.
Just a second.
Xander, do you have any questions?
Do you have any questions so far?
Does that make a difference too? Like if Xander and Alex, like, is she the leader? Is Xander the leader? Does it matter? They're both the leaders because they're both the humans.
It would. So what should be is we have a family first. The human family is the mother, then the son, and then the older dog, and then the youngest dog. So it will be that would be the lineup.
Does it matter who feeds them though? I guess that's what I mean. Like
no, it's both of them. Both of them need.
Xander would learn the same ritual.
Yeah,
of how
just
to
important thing is to be performed the same way.
Okay.
Yeah, because it doesn't matter. Yeah. Okay. So let's come back to the jumping and everything else. So when they jump for example, you can practice that with Shannon because she lives now. For a month she will be there. So the right way to do it, Shannon, is to ignore that, right? So when that happens, when you come in, or when you come in the home, or can you just tell me when he jumps on you? when you come back from home, or when you enter the home, or are you in a home and then he just randomly chooses to jump on you, or how?
Yeah, it's more when I'm in the home. He doesn't run and jump in on me, but like once I'm here, he like stands up and like gets on my legs like he wants to be picked up. Or if I
Okay.
sit down like outside, like if we go on the deck, he like runs and jumps into my lap.
Yes, and then whatever you need to do is just put him down. And as much as he jumps, you just keep put him down. That's all. And then, give them if he does that like 10 times, you might also consider putting him in a timeout. But I would, if what you need to kind of, you cannot become angry. That's the most important thing. So you cannot become annoyed. If you need to repeat, putting him down, gently telling him it's not your place, you're not invited, and just keep repeating it as it doesn't bother you, they're going to get the message much faster.
Okay. I don't get bothered, actually. I think it's more if he puts his like paws on my leg, though, like he wants me to pick him up. Is it just important that I only pick him up when I'm going to pick him up? You
don't react to that. That's misbehaving. You are not invited in my, we are learning to set the boundaries with the people.
Right.
This is a perfect exercise to set the boundaries with the dog. Right? And that's exactly, did I invited you to my safe space? Right. No. Why are you petting me?
This is so good for humans.
It does.
For boundaries, I mean, right?
You welcome people, and then you don't have boundaries because you welcome them in your space, right? Mm-hmm. The ones that are bothers us are the ones that keep pushing beyond our space that we are kind of very. And this is a great place because what the dogs are is wonderful. This is wonderful manipulation. Because they're going to do that and they're going to get you in their trap with the cute eyes and this and that. And that can kind of prevent you from recognizing that double-facedness in a people. So just stay strong, right?
Yeah, you're right. You're right, though. I mean, I think this is why you asked me to co-host this, because the consciousness of humans and the consciousness of dogs, like I have more background with humans and you are like the expert in the dogs, but there's so much overlap in how they teach us. Listen to them, they're fighting.
Because listen, what happened now, why they are fighting it, because they both were in the hands of humans. What happens now is that what they want to do is reestablish their little hierarchy. So they're going to fight for a couple of minutes, and once they're sure that everything, who is in place and in charge, that's all they need to do. And that's why it's very interesting and important for us to work and to give full attention to the older dog. The older dog gonna teach the younger one, because the younger one gonna just observe the behavior of everything the older dog gonna know, the younger one just absorb. And there is no better teacher to the younger dog than well-behaved dog that's older. So it's perfect. You just need to give your full attention on communicating the canine language to your dog. And then the outcome of that would be they suddenly start barking. They want to stop peeing all over the place, or whatever they were doing that was annoying you, they're going to stop doing because you claimed back your position. That's all.
Okay. Do you have any questions with that? Because I know there's a lot of little distraction there. No. Okay.
Very clear.
Okay, this is great. So that, I mean, again, you're right. It is hard because they're both cute. And when I think a lot of dog parents, we've talked about this in some of the previous episodes, when we're giving affection thinking it's a good thing, but then we're accidentally getting out of the hierarchy of leadership if we don't do it on our terms and we let them lead when we pick them up and when we do everything.
And so it's just you actually bought and inspired a wonderful thought line in myself, because actually, those cute and nice eyes of the dogs.
You saw Charlie's eyes too, right?
You cannot resist. But that's a wonderful school to recognize the intention of the people. that gonna end up, because this is a cute action and looks like very charming action done by a cute face and pretty eyes and everything, that gonna have a terrible outcome and consequence.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
oh my gosh, this is so like you said though, in humans, it's very similar. Like a very attractive human.
There you go.
Can get away with so much, and people like just let of the red flags pass because you're like, oh, but he's so handsome or he's so charming and blah blah blah, and then bam.
Then bam. And then because we are not leader of our own life, and because we are so in need of being wanted, seen, and loved, that we actually oversee all of those red flags. And this is a great practice. This is a great exercise for the life event, even for your child. If you teach him properly to be careful about this, because consequence of this is these dogs might hurt us, or these dogs from this cute face might end up doing this or that to other humans, and everything started out from the best intention and cuteness with the terrible consequences, it's a great life lesson.
Yeah. I'm going to give this to you, and I'm going to put that outside. Perfect.
What are they doing? Tell me.
They are running around like crazy, and usually they don't do this, but I think they are fighting over a bone or something. You can open the door. Yes.
It's kind of no words. Open the door, let them go out, move the bone away while they are away.
You can put him outside too. Yes.
No
we put
words.
One inside and one outside.
You can separate them, but also you can let them play, because they are in a playing mood.
Oh, we separated them. Don't separate them? He said take the bone, but we separated them. And I think it's better to separate them.
Do you want him in or out?
Out. Okay. It's fine. Yes.
Because the last thing you give them, last chance you give them to be confused around, more. Now you're gonna, like 2-3 minutes, and they're gonna start barking to each other, want to reunite and want to join a game pack and things like that. So it's kind of like what you want to do is first, now all of your attention is on these things, so the dogs lost their little stage. So what they want is to get you from attention fully focused here to them, because that's what they used to. Whenever they do something, your attention is there. So, and I do understand it's difficult, because I would, I do understand that you now need to be focused on doing, the podcast with us. But on the other side, there was a way to kind of like let them be ignored and play. And also, it's very important. Put away the bone. Where is the bone now?
I think that
it's in the living
room. Yeah.
And any one of the dogs has a bone or no?
I don't. Maybe Happy got it, but no one had it when they separated.
Yeah. Okay, because that's always also important. If you give a bone to one dog, you give it to other dog, and also.
I give it to both. I gave it to both. One each.
And then what happened to the other dog? The other bone.
Finished it first, and then got the other one.
Oh, and are they fighting over that bone or no?
Sort of fighting, yes. Happy wanted it, and the other one was chasing. The little one was chasing to get it.
Yeah, so that's actually that's actually
big. They were running and Happy was growling.
Yeah, because that's also a very important thing. The dogs would also enjoy their treats or their praise on their own. So you have a food that I just explained you how to do, right? Like feeding ritual. Mm-hmm. And then occasionally, I wouldn't suggest you at this point to introduce the bone. So let them eat this bone and then have a month without the bone, until you do not establish a well-developed and well-understood relationship in between every single one of you. And then when they're sure, because they're going to use every single possible element to do this power challenge and power game, because now what's important is, because obviously in their little mind, you are out from the picture of being leader. That means that they need constantly to fight who's going to lead this little family and the pack.
When her attention is somewhere else.
No. At this point of your relationship, there is no leader in the house that the dog can rely on, because we just didn't know how to communicate that. You are the leader anyhow because you provide the food. So that's provided. But when we provide them and communicate with them with our words and our behavior and how this, you know, he jumps and you take him, that's a wrong message communicated to the dog. And then the dog thinks that because that would never be done by the leader. Right?
Yeah.
So now this little pack that you all create is missing the leader. And it's obvious the sum of two of them need to take that role. And what they are fighting, it's not the bone as much as a position. Now the little puppy is missing a lot of knowledge and wisdom and maturity to do that, but maybe feels like much more empowered because obviously maybe at this time gets a much more attention from you guys by training the puppy to potty train or whatever you do with the puppy, right? So the puppy usually gets more attention. So when the puppy gets more attention, sends the signal, I get more attention because probably I'm more important here. And then the happy has already his environment, you know, structure in place. And now all of this doesn't make sense. And all of this is, you know, failing. And now Shannon came, like, how long is she going to stay here? And now it's another pack. And now I need to take care about one more. So it's a big stress on dogs.
So he thinks he has to take, until there's a leader established, he thinks he has to take care of the puppy and me.
And her and
her and Xander. Yeah.
Xander,
I mean, like now he's have 4 instead of just 2. That's a lot of pressure.
That's a lot of pressure. Yeah. And you can see that in his eye. He even when you see him, the way he looks around is always to see the danger. Is there, you see that the way he looks, right? It's always like attention, like a seeking it around. Like even when he looked at the camera, he was like looking around, like always attention everywhere, because he just don't know what's going to attack you. And then he need to be there to respond.
Right. So did we cover what she can do when Happy barks at other dogs, like how she can help in that scenario?
Nothing. Just move on, say thank you and move on. Don't try to do nothing, because
does she get in front of him and say thank you, between him and the dog and say thank you? There's no time,
because that's already reactive. I would suggest to kind of practice, playtime is also, let's come just to the third thing you can do, right? So this is the thing. When he jumps, you put him down. He jumps, you put him down. He jumps 15 times, you put him 16. And then when he relaxes, you wait 5 minutes for him to be relaxed, and then call him to come. And then put him on a sofa, have him either do whatever you want, just have that movement of your joy and togetherness come from your inviting him in your space, not interrupting your space. That makes sense? Yes. Okay. And then the third thing you can do.
As I was getting ready to say, I was like, what's the
third thing you can do is take him in a garden, take them both in a garden and play with them. Play with them, no matter which kind of, be creative as much as you can, whatever play means to you, and always invite them to be part of the play and stop the playing at your convenience. But try to do that every single day. And then for 2 weeks, I would love you to kind of like stop walking him outside in the walks so he can meet new dogs and interact in those things, because he's just reactive and actually not ready for the walk. What we need to do first is reestablish the environment in which he's going to accept you as a leader. And then when you take him to a walk, what's not walk for him, it's a work, because that's what he used to work when he was in the Mexico. He used to go out walking by looking for the food, protecting what's his territory, and marking so other would know where is his line. And that's what's very strongly embedded in those dogs. And what we need to send a clear picture, that job is now mine. So and usually this is enough, like 1 week is enough, 2 weeks is perfectly 1 week. So what we want to do here is to kind of keep having that message very compact communication wise. So feeding ritual, playing ritual, and then, reuniting and inviting them in your environment, right? He comes when it's invited. And also when you come home from wherever you go, you just don't give them greetings and attention and nothing until they do not come down, and then call them, and then they're gonna, interact with them. So that's very important. So you come from home, you go to the market, you come home, they're gonna usually jump and whatever they're gonna do there, ignore until they do not settle out. It might take 20 minutes, it might take 15, it might take 5, but it's very fast gonna completely disappear, and they're going to get the message immediately. Because what we want to do in these 2 weeks is give the dog time to think. And then when he thinks, he'll say, oh my God, look she's taking it over. Now she's releasing me from all of these duties. And when you take him to a walk, he won't do it anymore on the other dogs. I guarantee.
That's so good. It's so good. I mean, right. So I wonder just real quickly, because I know we're kind of getting to the end of our time, but did you have any questions about kennel training your puppy? How that makes, because the puppy right now is being potty trained and all the things you mentioned. When he's no longer in the kennel, and I get that she would wait till he calms down when she comes home, but right now he's in the kennel. Is there anything like that with the greeting ritual that she would need to?
So why? Let me understand. Why is he in a kennel?
Well, he's not potty trained, and I work, so he cannot be left alone in the house. He has a crate, and when I'm not home, he goes into the crate. And when I come home, I get him out of the crate and take him out to the same spot so he can pee. And so that's the way that I've been potty training him, and he's getting better.
Is he doing something in a crate?
No, nothing. No.
Okay, so that's also part of the things. Sooner he learns that the entire house is a cave, so entire house is a crate, he will stop doing it, because the dogs don't pee in a crate. They don't pee in a home. So whatever they feel home is, they won't do it in a home. The message of peeing, when did you get him?
It's going to be a week on Friday.
Yeah. So that's when we expect from our dogs too much. When you took him away from the brother and from the shelter, what you did is actually separated him from part of his family that he was grieving. So the reason why he was peeing and pooing all over the place was to try to call his brother to find him. And that approximately lasts, if we let that happen, it's going to last like for, let's say, 2 to 3 days max. Because then they're going to see that actually it's not working, because the brother is not coming, the parents are not coming, my old owner, and that's everything that the happy was looking for outside. This puppy is trying to invite in the new, because he thinks he's kidnapped, right? And we kidnapped them, right? And now what he needs to do is he needs to invite his brother to try to find him, try to reunite the little family. And the only way for them to do that is to pee and poo all over the place. So I would actually, to be honest, if you do the feeding ritual for a couple of days, like let's say do 3 days, and then are you having those pee pads? Are you using those?
I'm not using, but we have them.
Yes. Put them in the house and try to put them in the corners on the opposite side of the entrance. So wherever the entrance in a house is, try to put them in the corners, because that's what they would mark in the nature. They would mark the periphery and the periphery of the home, because that's what they would mark if they would be outside, right? Yeah. So you try to predict where the dog is doing it, and if you see him doing it on a pee pad, reward him by good boy or give him some treat, okay? And if he doesn't do it on a pee pad, don't say nothing. Just clean it and bring the pee, because you're gonna start seeing that if they are not calling someone, then they're gonna pee on one place. If they are going to call either you or the older brother, then they're gonna pee all over the place. Because they want to make it as messy as possible, as smelly as possible, because they think that they're going to find me somehow, right? And that's last, as you see, your little, the happy needed like months, 2 months, 3 months, maybe, to understand it's not his street. This is a street he don't understand. This is a street where he doesn't have his old friends. It's nothing as it's supposed to be, and he slowly stays at home, right? As the same gonna happen to a little happy, but you also, very important characteristic of the leader is that the leader trusts. Leader trusts his employees. A good leader trusts that everyone is able and have skills to do and fulfill his duties. So soon we start trusting our dog that he won't do it because we understand the reason why they are doing it, and there is no reason anymore, then I encourage you to get rid of the crate and start introducing him to his whatever, where do they sleep? I don't know. But the reason why they are peeing and pooing, it's nothing to do with them wanting to, make a mess. And they will never do the mess all over the place. They're going to have a certain places. If they can't wait to get out, they're going to have certain places in the home to do it. And you can train them which places of that can be. So because you already have him 2 months, 2 weeks, or 1 week, right? Now we are entering the second.
It's going to be one.
There you go. Try this feeding ritual for a couple of days, like 2-3 days. Okay. Mm-hmm. Play with them in the garden once a day, on your watch, on your schedule, and have that as a religiously every day I play with my dogs, or your son is playing with your dogs, but have it religiously. Initiate and stop on your watch, and then prevent them from getting into your safe space without being invited. If you do those 3 things, communication leadership is clear, and you won't need to care about your dog peeing in the home without being on the pee pad. And I encourage you to start using pee pads as soon as possible, because that's something that will help you understand. And then the dog that's free, and it's much less under stress, because I don't suggest people to use crates at all, but I help people get rid of them, But you need to feel when is the time you trust your dog, and when you will be able to understand that he's peeing only to invite you or to get back to his own family. So it's very emotional way of doing it, but that's very important to be done. So he gets a clear message: the brother is not gonna come pick me up. My mom is never gonna come pick me up. But they need to go through that stage. If we prevent that stage from happening by closing them in some little compartment, they're gonna be scared of doing that, and they will never emotionally mature. Just because they're afraid of losing some, carpet, or need to clean this or clean that. Never punish a dog for doing it, because he never intentionally do it to hurt us. They did always because they think this is what they need to mark, or they did it because they need someone to bring home, either you or someone else.
How does that land with you? Like, how does that feel to hear that?
With the crate, for me, it's more a safety issue too. He chews on everything. I cannot leave him at home by himself. He gets into cables and plants, whatever it's on the way.
And where is Happy by that time? Where is he?
Oh, he's free. He's super well behaved. He doesn't chew on anything or touches anything. But Charlie gets into everything.
The chewing at this stage has to do a little bit with his teeth and going through that stage. But you can also help him chew that, exercise that while you are playing with him. So that's time when he can chew.
Okay.
So sweet. Okay. And then why he's chewing when he's alone is because he's anxious again. And then
No,
anxiety.
it's not when he's alone. I'm here.
Mhm.
He chews on plants. He chews on he's getting into everything like a baby.
Yeah, true. But then kind
So
of like we would maybe just, what we did in our home when we got our puppy, we were looking about what he's doing, and then we were like, put the plants a little higher. We don't put the baby in a crate just because we have a plants on the floor. Just try to not get rid of everything. Try to adjust your environment for dog to start learning about because what we want them to do is start thinking and consciously and willingly choose not to do things that bothers you. So if you don't want him to jump on we had chairs on the sofa. And then we said, like, I don't want dog to jump on sofa. I said to my two veteran, do we want a dog on a sofa? No. Okay, so what we do, when he jumps, we put him down. When we are not at home, we put the chairs on a sofa so he can jump even if he wants. If he was eating our plants, we would just put the plants on a higher end so he can't reach to them. And when you take all of these things away from him, the only thing you need to encourage for that little dog is to play with the happy or sleep when you are not away. And again, like a safety issue safety issue comes from a trust. More we trust, better they behave. But you need to develop that from within. It cannot be, I told you don't do it, right? I'm telling you, just get rid of whatever they can chew on as much as you can think of. And then encourage dog to kind of like have a crate as a safe space, but not a prison while you are away, because that might open in the future it can bury some trauma and of being alone and being held in little cave within the cave, and then he gonna interpret otherwise those messages that might later on bring some other kind of harm that we need to deal with later.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Yeah. I
know it's sometime that we expect that we have a house and then we bring a dog and we expect him not to touch anything. We need to rearrange a house for the little puppy. Yeah. And then place everything what you can because you want to get distraction away from the dog, so two of them can come join together, and then Happy can teach him what's to be done and what's not to be done.
Yeah, we can kind of already see that when we play in the yard, like that Happy is taking that role and Charlie is looking to him to learn what to go and what to run after and that kind of thing. So now it's like thinking about how do you do that in the house?
Yeah, try to see the plants. Okay, we have this and we have that. Okay, where we can put so he doesn't get reach of them. What do we do so we take attention away from the puppy? And then all of that is just anxiety that they need somehow to cope with. Every single time they choose something, it's also they release a lot of endorphin while chewing, and that balances the stress hormones aside.
Okay.
And
so is the house adjustments just for a while, like the plants and things?
Yeah,
is that
just for a while until the dog doesn't understand, because obviously the happy did got a message, and he was like a stray dog, never was involved with something like that, and he never so why the little puppy can't have the same relationship with the environment he live in? But you need to give him a chance, because maybe also as of now the only place that's his is the little crate. That's where he is when he's alone. When you are not home, the big dog is around and he is in his little crate, right? So what that might be a message for the little dog is, this is mine. And the rest is to explore, because the rest is not mine. I need to conquer it.
That makes sense. Right? Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Because what you want to do is to have dog claim entire place as his home. And then he won't do nothing what's harming the home, because the dog don't do it.
Because it's all his.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
good. It's precious. It's sacred.
Right. Yeah. Oh, Sasha.
I can see that in Happy. For Happy, his home is sacred. He doesn't do any of that. He's really really well behaved.
Yeah. But then we need to now
Like
trust
Charlie.
that Charlie gonna learn that from the dog once you take. So I encourage you to do this ritual thing for a couple of days, and then try. Like, don't
Okay.
put the dog in a crate, and then you know also what you can do, like leave him in a home, and then come back after 5 minutes, and then leave the home for 10 minutes, and then leave the home for 15 minutes, and let the dog out without being in a crate. And that would be giving him a chance to understand you are coming back, right? The mom is coming back, and I don't have an access to nothing. And what I want to do is actually sleep and play with the happy. That's all what the dogs are doing when the owners are not around. That's what the happy dog is. And then how that's to be achieved by, I couldn't stress enough that the first 72 hours are the most important one, because then we need to understand that the dogs are going through super experience of grief by separating them from the family or from the street or from whatever habitat they were used to before we took them. And then because from our perception, I went there and then I saved the dog from the shelter because there was some breeder that couldn't sell them, and then they abandoned them. But in their little mind, he and his brother were changing a home from here to there, and they were together. And now you came to save them, but in their mind, you separate them in part.
Yeah.
So what they want to do is, until they do not claim you as a family, they want to invite the other part, so they grieve. And
and I think that's important
to let them grieve.
Yeah, I mean, that's important in humans. Like you talk about humans, when you don't allow humans to go through a grieving process, they stay stuck in that emotional place for a much longer time than if they're allowed to go through pain and grieving, and then they move through it, and then they move on. And so it's the same with the puppy. It's like, if I can be sad that I'm not with my brother anymore, then I am sooner to be happy that I actually have this new family and can start adapting to my new environment and being happy with my new environment.
That's growth in those primary emotions that are very important, and that not to be entangled in the secondary emotions that are putting kind of those how you call those rose glasses?
Yeah,
right?
Rose-colored glasses.
Yes, because the world looks nicer with them, right? No, that's not the point, because that's gonna cause trauma to express itself later, and we never know how.
Yeah. So how about I think this has been fantastic. What do you think?
Okay, yes.
I mean, it's so helpful to walk through, like, because we've talked about it in the episodes, but then to really see how you do it, how you establish yourself as a leader, and you still can be loving and have all the snuggles and stuff, but you learn how to do it on your time and your way, so they can trust that you're in charge.
Yeah.
And all the things that they do to tempt us are just a test that we want to pass, because that actually makes them feel safer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
So this is so good. So Alex, would you take this challenge of doing what Sasha has said and then maybe report back to us?
Yes, definitely. Yes.
Yeah. So try for 2 weeks. Don't take your dog in a walk. That's important. Try for this with a little Charlie for a couple of days, and try to get rid of the things. Rearrange a little house. Now you have a help. Shannon can help you.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Rearrange a house so can feed the puppy, and try to get them together so the Charlie can teach from Happy, and then you deal with the Happy, because the Happy is the next in line after your son, and that's how the
so cool how this
Throne gets kind of like filled up.
Yeah. So I think because to me too, this is so helpful for the previous episodes we have. I feel like this is a really nice application of all that knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would love to invite any of the other dog parents watching. If you have questions like Alex had, there was a behavioral thing with Happy. There's the new puppy introduction, going over the rituals. would you reach out to us and let us know what you're struggling with or what your questions are? And we'll be happy to cover those in upcoming episodes, or maybe we could even invite you to be a guest. And you
Perfect.
can have the same conversation to help us all learn how we can better. I mean, ultimately, we're learning better how to take care of our dogs and our family.
Yeah.
When we
It's
understand this order, when we understand this consciousness and this way they communicate, then it just helps us all be a better harmony in our household,
yeah.
and everybody's happier and healthier.
Everyone, and then everything, tension in a house just get relinquished because everyone is in its place. It's very difficult when you wear someone else's shoes and you don't have a skills to fulfill those expectations. That's very frustrated.
Right. Yeah. So we want to take that burden off of our dogs, because otherwise they'll take on loads and loads and loads of stuff that they don't need to take.
So, Alex,
Okay.
I hope that I was able to, give you a little instructions to how to, and I would love you to also to journal about this if you can daily. Just write a couple of how did you felt, what did you do, what was easy to do it, what so you kind of go through this experimenting for the experience itself. So it's just not Sasha told me, but yeah, this is how I felt. I went angry. This was very difficult for me to do. He tried 20 times, but I was, and then you're going to cut yourself by reading a journal a week from now, giving a reflection or kind of ponder back like how it was. You're going to see improvement, because sometime we're going to get improvement without being aware of improvement. Because that's what also it's very important to see yourself grow together in this mindful experience of being a responsible doggy mom. Does
Thank
that make
you.
sense?
Yeah, it totally makes sense. Totally makes sense. It sounds like that's what we need. Definitely. Thank you.
Perfect. And then if you have any questions, like reach out. I'm happy to help you. Shannon, you also are part of the pack as much as the
I'm
son of
honored to be a
Alex. Yeah.
temporary part
So
of the
now
pack.
if you happen to feed the dogs because they're out, like there now you know the drill. So
Yeah. Yeah. And we'll teach Xander too, because I mean, that's the
Xander, yeah.
thing is it's like all of us being a part of it need to know how to do it so we can do it consistently.
Yeah. So now the little constellation in your home looks like so the mom, the son, Shannon, because it's a guest, so she's gonna go, and then Happy, and then Charlie. So that's a hierarchy, and that's how it should be communicated, right? Because it's very important for this little system. Even though Shannon is older than your son, it just kind of in a way of
I'm a guest.
responsibility to a family, she comes and goes. So it means that in a hierarchy that she needs to communicate with the dogs, she's a lowest in the rank of the humans, but still is a member of the pack until she is, right? That's
Right.
also very important. So you have an obligation too. When the dogs jump on you, just do it as much as it takes.
Okay. No,
Okay.
we're going to be busy. But it's so good to know, like having the awareness is the first step. Like, you need to do things, but really knowing what to do and how to break these things and putting good systems in place is like so hugely helpful. So I
Yeah.
can do that. I can do that.
I can do that too. But
There you go.
now we know.
Now we know.
Yeah,
we
now
know.
you know. And then
Now
when
we
you know, that's what raises consciousness, awareness.
Yeah.
And then awareness
Yeah.
brings you completely to a different state of mind. And then from there, the dogs start to trust. And then whatever you want, they are choosing. You see, I never told you, put him on a leash, take him there, show him who's the boss and things like that. No, because the hardest work will be on us, to force us to do the right things when it's so hard to be done because they're so cute, right? They're so cute.
Yes.
But it's a trap.
Yes.
And you know what? We felt in that trap for so many times with the people that seemed so nice to us.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Very uncanny how it's so similar,
And thank you,
right?
Shannon. That's
Yeah.
a new line of thoughts for myself as well, because when you said he's touching me so gently, yeah, but he was not invited to that place, so he's
Right.
not appreciating the boundaries. Yeah, oh my God, but that's how we let our people that look so cute and innocent and wonderful and everything, and then look where we end up being.
Yeah, yeah. And then it seems like a good thing and it's not a good thing.
There you go.
It's a lesson all across the board.
Lesson learned.
So,
Okay.
Well,
Thank you,
thanks
girls,
very,
so
very much,
much.
everyone, for tuning in. And then we will report back how we do.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Wish you good
And
luck.
anyone else, write in and we look forward to your questions.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you, everyone.
Good night,
Bye.
Sasha. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.